Hey there, it's Mac with another one of my videos. Today we're going to talk about movie theories. A lot of people think that it's pretty dang bizarre though because movie theories have been around for a while and actor theories too. So these are 20 craziest movie theories that will have you rethinking everything. So let's see. The Titanic. Movie Titanic. Everyone knows this iconic James Cameron movie, inspired by the ill-fated voyage of the Titanic in early century. The romantic story of Rose and Jack did earn the movie Academy Award wins. But did you know that there's a particular wild theory about none other than the film's really worthy for this Jack Dawson? According to the popular theory, Jack is actually from the future and only on board the Titanic to save Rose's life. There's plenty of evidence to prove it. The most obvious clue is that Jack mentions Lake Minnesota in a lake once he finished the well, as well as the roller coaster in Santa Monica Pier. Except these sites didn't exist until years later after the Titanic sank in 1912. Need more evidence? Just look at Jack's place hairstyle, fashion for the time period, including the rucksack that he's seen carrying that people weren't popular until the 1930s. Wow. So, Jack Dawson is a time traveler. Wow. That's pretty funny. You know, to tell you the truth, that doesn't really apply to what people think about him though, because I don't think Jack is really actually a time traveler. I just think that that's probably a theory that a lot of people made up. So let's see another one. Finding Nemo. Okay, let's see what the theory is. Theory: Nemo doesn't exist. If you remember the film opening scene, Marlin wakes up from a barracuda attack on his family to find it only of his eggs, Nemo survived. But there's one theory suggests that the grieving father only imagined that one son survived, which means that Nemo isn't real. But is only a figment of Marlin's imagination, conjured up to cope with the loss of his family. Following this theory, the entire movie is an analogy of a father's journey through the 5 stages of grief, as many fans suggested, and the kicker, Nemo actually means nobody in Latin. I don't really believe this theory, actually, to tell you the truth, because Nemo is one of the best characters in Finding Nemo. That little fin thing that he has is kind of cute. He's a cute little fish, though. I can't admit, but I don't really buy that theory, actually, to tell you the truth. Grease. Let's see what the theory is. Theory: Sandy dies at the beginning of the movie. The key to this theory is both the beginning and end of the film. Grease opens with Sandy and Danny meeting at the beach. It ends with a final shot of the couple driving towards the sky in a flying car. Well, there's one dark fan theory points that Sandy actually drowned at the beach. Remembering Danny sings, "And I saved her life, she nearly drowned" in Summer's Night. The entire movie is just a fantasy sequence placed in Sandy's head as she dies, which is the last scene in the car signifies Sandy being set up to heaven. Talk about the lyric, "I've got chills, they're multiplying." I don't really buy this one either, actually, to tell you the truth, because if Sandy died at the beginning of the movie, how come everybody at the school could actually see her? Come on. Come on, she looks pretty alive to me. There's no doubt. Let's see. The movie The Dark Knight. Theory: The Joker is an Iraq warrior veteran. Many Batman fans have speculated about the Joker's origin story. There's no theory that has been compelled to one that suggests that the villain was a former soldier in Iraq who is suffering from PTSD. This only explains his facial scarring, excessive knowledge of explosives and firearms, but also suggests a deeper insight into his madness tortured psyche. In one scene, for example, the Joker mentions very barely in one scene that no one would bat an eye if a truck load of soldiers got blown up. Could be this disgust stems from his status as a disgruntled, mentally imbalanced war veteran. To tell you the truth, I never really actually seen The Dark Knight, actually. I mean, so I don't know if this theory is actually well-founded, though. I mean, I haven't seen Heath Ledger as the Joker, to tell you the truth. I mean, we all know what happened to Heath Ledger after that movie died, but I never really actually seen him as the Joker, so I can't really tell you about this theory, actually. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Theory. Ferris is a figment of Cameron's imagination. According to this one standing theory about the class teen flick, the character of Ferris doesn't actually exist. It's actually a hallucinatory embodiment made in Cameron's head. This all makes sense given the contrast between the confident, popular Ferris and the awkward, self-depriving Cameron. Ferris is the kind of guy who Cameron actually wants to be. And if we follow this premise, the adventures that are actually figments of Cameron's imagination, carving up in his head to live out his dreams to his imaginary friend Ferris. I've actually seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, actually, and I don't really believe this one either, actually, because the thing is, Ferris Bueller does have kind of a wacky personality, though, because he made his parents believe that he was actually sick, which is kind of a dummy thing to do. So I'm not really sure if I buy this one, actually. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. This one's kind of funny. Willy Wonka is actually a serial killer. God. Have you ever thought why there's something a little creepy about this sugary tale? You're not alone. Many people have speculated that Willy Wonka is actually a calculated murderer who takes delight in luring children into his factory, planning out each of their demises, part of a saw-squid scheme. This explains why Wonka is completely unfazed by the various actions throughout the film, and also why the Oompa Loompas are always ready with a pure, strong dance routine as each child faces their fate. Talk about a dark twist on a classic kid's story. Really? Willy Wonka? I've seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory like many times as a child, and I don't really buy this one though, because Willy Wonka, I mean, yeah, Willy Wonka is a bit eccentric, but he's actually in contrast, he's actually a very interesting person. I mean, Gene Wilder plays a really a very good thing about him. And then he lets kids visit his factory. He lets 5 kids visit his factory. And then they think he's a killer? That is so dang ridiculous. Do you know how ridiculous this actually sounds? Come on. Harry Potter series. Let's see what the theory is. Theory. The Dursleys are cruel to Harry for a good reason. Any Potterhead remembers how unkind the Dursley were to Harry throughout the series, but there was a good explanation for it. According to one theory, the reason that Harry's aunt and uncle and cousin are so awful to him was because Harry, spoiler alert, was one of Voldemort's Horcruxes. As we know, the Horcruxes negatively impact their surroundings as when Harry, Ron, and Hermione's moods are affected by Slytherin Locket that turns when they took turns wearing. In Deathly Hallows, since Harry was in Horcrux, it's definitely what it makes sense that he negatively affects the people he lived with for so many years, wouldn't it? This one would make sense for one, but for one thing. Harry and Voldemort have kind of a weird connection, to be honest, because according to Google, Voldemort is actually related to Harry. They're like distant cousins, so I don't think that this theory is actually a very good theory at all because the reason why Harry, Ron, and Hermione were all affected by the Horcrux was because they each developed their own moods because of what was going on when they were each wearing the locket. So because Ron was experiencing emotion and anger, Hermione was feeling sadness, and Harry was feeling a little bit paranoid. So I don't think that this is actually a very good theory to think about. James Bond series. Theory. James Bond is actually just a code name. To explain the only problem of Bond's franchise, the popular theory suggests that James Bond is a singular person and is actually just a code name that given to multiple M16 agents over the years. This would certainly explain why the character's appearance, age, and even personality have all changed over the past 50 years, and why he never ages or dies or so many dangerous missions. Therefore, the theory would also explain why the agent loves to flaunt his name to his enemies despite an obvious threat that it's because James Bond isn't actually his real name. I don't really know about this one either because I never actually seen the one with Daniel Craig in it, and I have seen one James Bond movie, but it had like Sean Connery in it, so I don't know if I really believe this one either though because and so I don't think this one is pretty spot on. Aladdin. Let's see. Theory. The movie is set in a post-apocalyptic future. Ever wondered why the genie made so many popular culture references like spotting Arnold Schwarzenegger impressions, despite on having been locked up in a lamp for 10,000 years? One suggests that Aladdin is actually set in a past that many people believe, but in fact set in a post-apocalyptic future, which only a few countries in Agrabah survived. Just recall this one scene where Genie calls Aladdin clothes third century. If the genie remembers the 3rd century, to spend 10,000 years in the lamp means the year would be at least 1003 AD when he finally gets out. I don't really believe this one either, to tell you the truth, because Genie is a very smart character in that show. I mean in that movie though, because I loved Aladdin when I was a kid, so I don't think that really is a really good theory though. They also think that Genie might be gay, but which is also pretty dang ridiculous because he has it's pretty. So I don't think this is actually a very good theory to think about at all. Okay. Pulp Fiction. Theory. The briefcase contains Marcellus Wallace's soul. The contents of this case is one of Pulp Fiction's most enduring mysteries, but there is one popular theory that puts the most debated topic to rest. Many theory that the briefcase receiving the hitman contains the soul of their gangster's boss, Marcellus Wallace, who has previously sold his soul to the devil. Just recall the lock code on the case 666, a number famously accusated with the devil. The bandages on the back of the Marcellus head reflects the Bible text that says that the devil steals your soul from the back of your head. Plus, where else can he explain the heavenly glow from the briefcase? I never really actually seen Pulp Fiction. I never seen any of the movies, so I don't really know if this theory is actually true or not, because I think that this theory is pretty dang bizarre. And that's all the theories that I'm going to talk about today. So, what do you guys think of these theories? Do you think they have any truth in them, or do you think that do you think they're plain bizarre? So let me know in the comments if you think these theories are true or not, and make sure to click on and be sure to subscribe and click on the notification button so you can get some notifications. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.